How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We got chapter 146 of Jujutsu Kaisen today, so you know it's going to be a good day. Unfortunately, second time I'm recording this, so we're going to get right into it. But before we do that, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. We always got more JJK, more One Piece, and more Kaiju number 8 on the way. So for this chapter review, I'm going to do something a little bit different than everybody else. I'm going to jump to the very end of the chapter really fast because I need everybody to understand this. This comedian comes on stage, and if you didn't see in the bottom right-hand corner of the page, it tells you what's on the sign. It says, "Is that a banana in your pocket?" This dude is out there trying to make a living making boner jokes, okay? And Mr. Boner Joke, of all people, is gonna get, you ready for this? Nanami's curse technique. Boner Joke gets to live up to Nanami, okay? I'm not calling this dude by his name until he lives up to a quarter of the person that Nanami was. If you do not understand how goated Nanami is, go back and reread the series. You missed something. We're going to get to that again at the end, but just seriously, people, you understand the scope of this? Going back to where we start, we leave off last chapter with the whole introduction of Hana. Hannah, I'm going to call her Hannah. Hannah. Her name's Hannah. We're sticking with that. So we reiterate the fact that, yes, her ability to negate curse techniques, basically the same way the inverted spear of heaven works, is able to force open the back of the prison realm. Now, there is no way I am the only one childish enough to notice the whole opening the back door of the prison realm. Prison, back door. Oh, come on. I'm not the only one that's finding that funny. Can somebody please go down to the comments and let me know I'm not the only one that finds that funny? Please, so I know I'm not a gigantic child and just like a little bit of a child. So, Tengen in this chapter explains more and more about the culling games and how this is going to work and what exactly is going to go on. And then after that, we kind of get into everybody's role. So that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to go through, explain everything that's going on with culling game, and then move on. So, starting off, he tells us we have 10 colonies that form a line. And also that Hannah is in one of the colonies. She is in the one east of Tokyo. We have a map with all of them on there. If I knew a little bit more about geography in Japan, because I know none of that, that might help me. It really doesn't. If you do know, you could probably kind of pinpoint which one it is. But anyway, all 10 of these colonies form a line across Japan, and all 10 of them connect on the opposite sides that form a barrier that will sweep across Japan, sending everybody to the other side, I'm assuming, upon the ritual's completion. Now, with that being said, Jujutsu High is a safe area due to Tengen's barrier being there already. So, that's a plus. Another plus is upon the ritual's completion that I talked about. That's going to be at least like 2 months from the start of the culling game, at least according to Tengen's estimation. So we have 2 months to stop all this, which is good. This is not like a now, go. I mean, it is, but it isn't. So, plus on that one, keeping up with kind of time of everything, it is currently November 9th. So it's only been 9 days since the end of the Shibuya incident, meaning people who have awakened a curse technique still have 10 more days to go to a colony and basically register themselves as a participant. If they do not, they will be subject to curse technique removal, which we get confirmed in this chapter. I'm assuming most of us kind of assumed this. Curse technique removal is not a very apt description of what it does. A much more apt description is, life removal, because you die. So, yeah, you're kind of leaving out very important information when you call it curse technique removal. So I'm going to now call it life removal from now on because that's what it is. Let's kind of be honest here, everybody, okay? Now, on the bright side of life removal, you do have to have a curse technique and or a brain for it to work. So when I say you need a curse technique for it to work, Maki is under a heavenly restriction. She has no curse technique, therefore she cannot undergo curse technique removal which basically, I guess, is a more apt description, even though it leads to life removal. So, if you do not have a curse technique, you cannot have it removed, aka you cannot have your life removed. So, plus on that one, Maki also states that Panda doesn't really have a brain. He's a curse puppet. So, I'm guessing he's immune too. So we're kind of going to go with that estimation, even though that's not quite as concrete as the whole curse technique removal and Maki not working thing. So yeah, plus on that one, Maki's safe. I mean, obviously she can still die, but just not by that. Wait, is that really a good thing? Hang on. Wait a minute. I don't want to be Maki. Never mind. I changed my mind. Because if things go bad and we lose and Maki's still alive and everybody else goes to, and then what happened at Tokyo, Maki's gonna basically be alone in a world full of curses. That is a terrifying fate. Never mind. I don't want to be Maki. I want to go through life removal. Give me life removal, please. Thank you. All right, moving on. Tengen also explains to us that every player in this game, or participant, based somebody with a curse technique, but actually, I don't know if civilians that stay inside of the barrier, because civilians are allowed to leave, by the way. I don't know if civilians inside of the barrier that stay or enter one that are then considered participants. I don't know if they get a Shikigami or a Kogane, which is what I'm talking about here. That's what every player is going to get, and that's basically their interface with the game master. So I doubt that if you get 100 points and make a rule, that you get to go see the game master face to face and be like, hey, here's my 100 points, and you hand him a $100 bill and like, here, no, that's not how it works. I'm pretty sure the Kogane will take the points, remove them from your, I guess, stat book, and then you'll be able to tell the Kogane the rule you want to insert, and then that is when the game master will decide whether it is okay or not okay to implement that rule. This is where we need to get into kind of some of the really important things here, and that is the whole fact of the game master must accept the rule unless it has a long-lasting or a marked effect on the culling game. Now, from the get-go, you can say, oh, well, the game master can just say for any rule that they don't like, that has a long-lasting effect. No. So that would kind of put us in a pinch. But Tengen goes on to explain that no, that's not the case. Most of the rules you make will probably have a pretty equitable decision because Kenjaku has to face just as strict rules as everybody else. I believe this is partially a side effect to the fact that curse technique removal upon not completing these rules, or life removal, as we discussed, is not a binding vow. So that is kind of interesting and means that that's going to take a lot of power, and he's probably under a lot. For him to be able to enforce something like this, remember, this is Jujutsu Kaisen, a lot of things are give and take. To implement something like this, he has to follow probably very, very strict rules. It's probably a very black and white. If your rule meets the criteria, it has to be implemented. If it does not, it will not be implemented. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of room for, well, it meets the criteria, but I don't really like it, so I'm going to say it has a long-lasting effect. I don't think so. I think this is a black and white rule book. They're going to have to follow it just like we're going to have to follow it, which is good. That leaves a lot less influence for them to put it into their favor, even though things are kind of already in their favor. They kind of have the upper hand in this scenario, but hey. We also get reminded about the fact that if you do not gain any more points, or in other words, your points stay the same for 19 days, you will be subject to curse technique removal. Even if you're playing the game in the area, if you do not kill somebody in 19 days or gain points somehow, you will die. This makes Yuji think, I'm going to have to kill again. We know right now this is something Yuji is struggling with. He's really struggling with the fact that his body was just used to commit mass murder like 9 days ago. So, yeah, kind of a big deal for him. Megumi tells him that he has a plan or a few ideas that can possibly stop Yuji from having to kill anybody. So I'm very curious to see what those are. I have a great plan, actually. You want to hear it? Get this shit done in less than 19 days. There you go. Great plan. 16 days, get it done. Yuji doesn't have to kill anybody. Nobody has to get any points. Great. Good job. Awesome. Now, probably not as simple as that, but hey, it would technically work. So, moving on to everybody's actual roles going forward. The important stuff. Well, this has all been important, but this is where we're going to go from here. So, as we already established last time, Yuki and Choso are going to stay back and guard Tengen. That's great. Maki is going to go get a bunch of curse tools from the Zenin warehouse, which is then explained, because Yuji did not know this, that Megumi is now the Zenin clan leader. If you forgot, yeah, Megumi's the leader of the Zenin clan. That is huge. So yeah, she's just gonna go walk right in, take all the stuff she wants, and walk right out because Megumi says it's fine, which is awesome. Something I want people to pay attention to, because the way this was done, the way the panels were set up, the way the wording was, this seems like a lot bigger than the Zenin warehouse thing. Maki asks Tengen to open up Juzo Kumiya's workshop. The way this is worded and everything and said makes it sound like kind of a big deal. If you don't remember, Juzo is that weird axe dude with a line across his face that Gojo one-shot during the sister school event that was going to take on the principal. Yeah, that guy. He was really weird. He was a curse user. And the way this was said, I'm going to guess we're going to get some weird, crazy curse tools coming out of his workshop compared to what's going to come out of the Zenin warehouse. So seriously, do not underestimate what we're going to get out of his workshop. The way they worded that really made me focus on it, and I don't think I'm the only one, and I'm pretty sure we all should be. So, keep that in mind. That we're going to get some weird stuff coming out of there. Because if you don't remember, Juzo was a weird dude. Yuta, he's going straight to a colony. He's going out, getting information. He's going to be the first one there, getting things locked down, figured out. He's ready. He's going, which is good because he has boundless cursed energy, so it's not like he's going to get tired. The dude can go sit out there for 2 weeks, he'll be fine. We also get a nice little moment between Yuji, Megumi, and Yuta and all them, because Yuta and Yuji, remember, have the deal that if Yuji ever does anything like he did during the Shibuya incident, Yuta is supposed to kill him and stop him. So they start to get kind of worried about that. Megumi just smacks him on the chest. He's like, stop, don't worry about it. It's not going to happen in the first place. Big thing, Yuji and Megumi are going to go meet up with Hikari. Now, this was funny. Yuta tells him that Hikari can be kind of moody, but when he gets serious, he's stronger than he is. Now, when I sat back down in my chair, the very next bubble on the same panel, it's the same panel. It's Maki saying that's not true. Maki shut that down so fast. Please pay attention to that bubble Maki said. Hikari is not stronger than Yuta, okay? Hikari is going to be extremely strong. He's got to be extremely strong for Yuta to even say that. But I guarantee you, Yuta is very modest about himself, and he's very liking of other people. So he's hyping Hikari up. Not saying he might not even be hyping Hikari up. Okay, he is a little bit. I think Yuta's downplaying himself more than he is hyping Hikari. So, yeah, let's continue to hype Hikari up. He's going to be tough. He's going to be a badass. Let's please, please, please not overlook that Maki bubble and start downplaying Yuta. Please, for God's sakes, people, don't. Please don't. Just don't. So, yeah, at the end of this whole segment is honestly probably the funniest part of the chapter. We have Yuji looking back, telling Choso thanks, that he appreciates it. Choso tells him, just don't die. And then Choso starts crying, and he gets the little, like, hand waving, like, flip. Just, like, hand over the face. Yuki asks me, she's like, dude, are you crying? And Tengen just looks at him like, you have got to be kidding me. The look on Tengen's face is just, what are you doing? You're supposed to be one of my guards. What are you doing right now? And it was great. It's some Choso shit to do. So, Choso's honestly becoming one of my favorites, if he hasn't already been one of my favorites. He's a great character. But then, here we go. We get boner joke. And this guy's just failing on stage. I mean, he's making a boner joke at an actual comedy show. So, this dude's getting reamed backstage. Like, he is getting chewed out so bad. Kind of understandably. You're a comedian. Nobody's laughing. You're making boner jokes. What are you doing? So, at the very, very end of the chapter, we have another comic telling him that he doesn't dislike his jokes. He says there are two types of comedians. Those that are funny and those that think they're funny. And they can both be successful. Which are you? I'd say it's about 50-50. Or maybe it's more 70-30. I don't need to tell anybody what the 70-30 means. I'm going to say his name one time. This man's name is Fumihiko Takaba. Okay? I said it. I'm not calling him by his name again until he is 25% of the man that Nanami used to be, alright? Until then, he is boner joke. Nanami is goated, and his curse technique is going to a guy whose introduction was holding up a sign that says, "Is that a banana in your pocket?" What? Come on! But to actually discuss this guy and where I think he might be going in the series, he's kind of getting stepped on a lot in his first couple panels. So, awakening a curse technique, gaining this power that makes him pretty strong, that power might go to his head, and he will probably start to go down a pretty dark path. I would not be surprised. Well, I can almost guarantee Yuji is going to run into this guy and have an ideological clash with him, because Nanami was one of Yuji's teachers and somebody very close to Yuji. So this is going to be a big deal for him to see somebody using Nanami's power. Or technique, I should call it Nanami's power. So I do believe that Yuji will bring him over to the good side. I do believe he will be a good guy at the end of this arc moving forward. I'm sure I will end up liking him. I'm sure he will have a good sense of humor. But, man, you got a lot to live up to, Boner Joke. But with that being said, I'm going to head out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter. I know I did, and I can't wait to get into more of the culling game. And of course, I'm going to be around here when we do. So, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm out.